Big vibes. Stay blessed. So listen, it's your boy blkfinesse. We're here for another mitsistudio video. This is called Life of a Gladiator. I believe this is about to be hella graphic because gladiators are brutal. Like, we're talking, this is before guns. Is it before guns? I want to say this is before guns. Yeah, this is about to be very graphic and jokeful. Bruh, Mitsi, y'all crazy. All right. Let's see, because I'm not ready, but let's see. Let's see. It's about to be so crazy. And look at that. Already gruesome.
The origin of gladiatorial combat might go back to the 3rd century BC, with blood rites staged at the funerals of wealthy nobles. When distinguished aristocrats died, their families would hold graveside bouts between enslaved people or condemned prisoners, as a kind of macabre eulogy for the virtues the person had demonstrated in life. Let's hope those fighters didn't have their own slaves to fight on their funerals. Would be a very busy day for the Undertaker. These funeral rituals increased in scope during the reign of Julius Caesar.
Bro, how do you enjoy watching people off themselves? Like, oh my God. People, like, men were bad back then, dog. Like, bro, you enjoy...
In honor of his deceased father and daughter, the games became hugely popular, to a point where people probably
this is like
give a shit anymore.
UFC times 10,000.
Wanted to enjoy some good old carnage, go home and eat grapes on a stone bench. With the gladiatorial games already being widely present in
this is like the Hunger Games,
the
basically.
was made to build a giant amphitheater in the center of Rome. It was named the Flavian Amphitheater, better known as the Colosseum. During the many centuries of gladiatorial games, many people came, fought, and died in the Roman Colosseum. Because of the immense popularity of the Colosseum and the games, it was clear to many gladiators their imminent fate. Many of the fighters knew days before if they were fighting a regular gladiator or a wild animal.
That's right.
Therefore, your survival chances as a
no. Bump that. Oh, what the? All right. Okay. All right. What the fuck? Like, that's not funny. But anyways, why are you stripped of your armor when you're fighting an animal, but you got armor when you're fighting humans? Yo, you're so backwards, bro. I'd rather be stripped of armor fighting a human than fighting an animal, because an animal can maul you in 2 seconds. Like, what the, bro?
Status.
This is so graphic.
There were some people who chose to be a gladiator, but most of them were enslaved people or prisoners of war.
Bruh.
If that was the case, your chances of survival could be, well, not so good. Criminals were also sent to the Colosseum to earn their freedom. This might sound promising, but you can probably guess where this is going.
Oh my gosh.
These fighters had little to no value, and were mostly slaughtered by better trained opponents. Or they became a bestiarius, meaning they were eaten alive by lions, crushed by elephants, or just died from their wounds while recovering. Rough day at the office. As mentioned before, most gladiators were slaves, prisoners of war, or criminals. Despite having to endure the dangers of daily gladiatorial fighting, these gladiators trained in special fighting schools. There were people involved who invested in time, money, and resources to get these fighters to become highly skilled in fighting, but also in survival. If these fighters would last as short as the average Qatar construction worker, that would be too much of an expense for most investors. It would be too costly.
They basically put in live parlays on this.
Gladiators in front of a group of hungry lions. Sorry, Mr. Criminal. Looks like your number is up now. Most of the games consisted of 2 gladiators fighting each other. The audience would decide in the end if both gladiators fought bravely. If so, most of the times the defeated gladiator would receive mercy and live to fight another day. If the emperor or audience was displeased, they would give the victorious gladiator a sign to basically finish the poor chap. On special events, large group battles were staged to give the audience...
What am I watching? No, y'all were evil back then. Oh my gosh, bro. Dog, and you know what? I get it. They were criminals, slaves. Nah, slaves I don't get, because those are people against being enslaved against their will. But criminals I get. But what, bro? Like, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this.
wild animals were mixed in to spice things up a bit more, while criminals and thugs were torn to pieces. More skilled fighters with long-distance weapons could easily pick off a few lions. Sometimes the animals were set to fight each other.
Bro, elephants?
On one occasion, an elephant was fighting an enraged rhinoceros where the elephant poked the eye out of its adversary. Not your casual family circus act you would bring your kids to. Damnatio and Bestias was a game where two guys stood on a seesaw with their arms tied to their waist. Wild animals would be set loose into the arena. The audience could then place bets on who would be eaten alive first. Obviously, the winner of the game didn't enjoy his victory for long because of the unfortunate way a seesaw works. Women were also sent in the arena to fight. They fought mostly other women, and on a few occasions, they battled a group of dwarves armed with meat cleavers. There was no point on that day wearing a lot of upper body armor, I guess. The battles involving women as gladiators ended when Emperor Septimius Severus banned their participation. A shame there were no women's rights back then to keep them in the game. During the reign of Emperor Titus, the Colosseum was flooded with more than 1 million gallons of water. This created a water mass of 5 feet deep, enough to stage large-scale naval reenactments, which were called normatia.
Who the hell is throwing these? Who's throwing these arrows? Or is this the people in the crowd? Bro, bro, what the hell is going on, bro? I don't understand this. Why are we doing this? Why?
Multiple boats were floated around, attacking each other by boarding the vessels, slaughtering and drowning their foes, until only one faction
Who's
was
shooting the
standing
arrows?
or floating. These battles were one of the largest events the Colosseum organized. However, the flooding and draining of the arena took too much time and resources. Subsequently, the underground drainages were replaced with animal cages to facilitate more animal fights.
There's literally 2% chance you'll ever survive. Even if you did survive, you'd have to fight another day.
During the reign of Marcus Aurelius Commodus, it was the emperor himself who entered the arena to fight along his gladiator colleagues. This sounds like a brave thing to do, until you consider he mostly fought physically disabled people, or people who were instructed to give their lives. His sadistic creativity led to multiple battles orchestrated in a way that they resembled something more of an execution than an actual fair fight.
Exactly.
I guess the emperor didn't really get the notion that beating up physically disabled people publicly is not going to make you look very cool. While most people who died in the Colosseum were slaves, criminals, or prisoners of war, there were also Roman citizens who voluntarily became a gladiator.
What?
In Roman culture, a successful gladiator was treated like a superstar. Their successes were quickly picked up by the crowd, and this could boost the social rank of the gladiator to new heights, equaling that of many Roman nobles. They would enjoy the presence of women, since they were looked upon as the embodiment of the ultimate Roman sex symbol. Because the profits earned from battles increased alongside the improved status of the gladiator, these fights would only be reserved for specific events and would not be exposed to any unnecessary dangers. If the fighter was defeated, he still had the advantage of potentially having the crowd on his side. For any judgment call with a thumb up, thumb closed situation, this could be handy. Nevertheless, the true dangers of living a life as a gladiator were not to be ignored. Over time, many of these fighters even formed unions with their own elected leader. When a warrior fell in battle, these groups would ensure that their comrades received a proper funeral, including a grave inscription honoring their achievements in the arena. If the deceased had a wife and children, they would also see that the family received monetary compensation for their loss. When you think of gladiators, I bet you are not instantly thinking of life insurance policies. But there you go. With over hundreds of years of gladiatorial games, some estimates put the total kill count of the Roman Colosseum around 400,000 souls.
Not to kill.
Most of the people that entered the arena as a gladiator would eventually die. In a few cases, gladiators did earn their freedom and set foot outside the circular walls as a free man or woman. Despite the hopes of being one of the few to survive as a gladiator, for some, the attraction of the Colosseum itself, the games, the dangers, its victories, and overall the mighty roar of 50,000 people screaming their name would truly be their one and only destiny. Check out a new store for
oh my gosh, no.
Or joy.
No. I don't know. No. I had to survive not only people, the crowd, animal, water, and their own king, who just comes in and beats up people who are already disabled. Fool, you have a less than 5% chance of surviving. Not to mention, you have to fight another day until they like you. Like, if they don't still like you, you're gonna still fight. I don't know. No. No. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. No, sir. I couldn't live in that time. Because you had to be born from royalty at this point. No. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe down below. This boy Black Finesse. We are out.